Teamwork makes the dream work. Hi everybody, and I hope you're doing well for Thursday. I'm currently having a very good day, mainly because we're seeing compensation, which has its impact on what is going to be, well, some extra runs into the shattered mode, which we'll talk about and showcase in a minute. But also some good news. Yes, you see that. That's right there. Jealous much? Well, this is my first time, I think, ever picking this up since Alliance raids started, or Nightmare raids, wherever you're picking this up from. So I'm in a good mood today. But something that I do want to focus on, and I've seen like the comments, but also people have like messaged as well about this, the impact of teamwork masteries. Now, yes, a lot of the content and coverage that I have done has not really kind of focused in when I've talked about Doom Cycle or Arcade Raids is the impact of teamwork masteries. They are incredibly important because they do add more to your champions whenever you go in. So yes, you could say, is that lead hero, lead champion philosophy like working well? Yes. Could it be better? Yes. Could you have gone a different direction with it? Undoubtedly so. The biggest problem we have with anything new into MCOC is time to trial it out, even more so if you're a non-spending player, because the spender was able to access and blast through a lot of this very early on. So therefore, a lot of us that are non-spending players are looking to pick up the pieces to then structure in what is the best structure around runs and champions we use. Now, each champion has something unique about them in some sort of way, like attack damage from, say, Thing, armor with Thing, attack delay with Human Torch, and of course other champions have their own things, like okay, there's a little bit of an all-rounder and attack delay being quite low for Mr. Fantastic, and Invisible Woman has a lot of shielding but also has a good attack delay as well, but not great on attack. Now something that I did allude to but didn't go into great detail because it adds another layer of complexity of explaining it is the mastery changes, and especially around teamwork. When I started off with Human Torch, I was focusing more on the ability of the champion, not about teamwork. And yes, they do say teamwork makes the dream work. It does, but maybe it benefits more later on into Shatter mode from doing the objectives. You will have to at some stage either use on your team one or many champions, like using Thing for a wave, or using Invisible Woman for a wave, or Mr. Fantastic for a wave. Not that kind, but a wave of enemies that are coming in. Once you understand the limitations of the masteries around one specific champion, you can then build around it. Here's a good example. So, under Thing, I mean, in general, there's a lot of your champions will take a lot of damage, and vitality. In the previous videos that I've posted, I've talked about vitality, getting back extra health as you go. But what if I told you there was a mastery that you could access some extra health points? Well, you can do that under Thing. You can do it right here. Constitution. So by the end of rank 3, you've added 300 points. So it means that you start off with 3,300 points. The same situation can be for Human Torch. With attack delay being a problem for Thing, you can look to add in an attack delay for the team reducing down. You can also do the same under Mr. Fantastic. So again, you're bringing that down by a certain percentile, depending of course on the ranks that you get with it. Also, there's going to be armor up improvement. With armor being quite weak for a certain champion, amplifier. It's something that I did loosely touch upon, but didn't go into great detail because it's the complexities and the lack of runs being able to be done as a non-spending player. There's also other little benefits as well. Further down the line, depending on how many mastery points I'm able to get in the next week or so, what I can do to improve more damage output, but also stuns. Stunning enemies is another very important mastery trait to go down the route of. Unfortunately, due to the lack of, well, it not being super difficult to do Shatter mode and some of the content around the arcade, you're further building to add things like stuns and even do things like evades as part of a teamwork mastery. It just becomes a little bit kind of moot because you don't technically need to do it, because your lead champion is going to be too powerful for it in general. So whether or not Kabam are using this as a test and kind of going, well, we'll just make champions more stronger after, that again is something up for debating whether or not Kabam will do it. But anyway, let's build some extra teamwork based masteries, and this being the great focus. So with a focus initially on Thing, having in those kind of improved elements of, let's just go with like the health side of things, and there's also debuff resist and other stuff, and there's also more increasive of dash damage and other types of damage as well. You can see that combo damage. Then one big problem that we seem to face is going to be armor. Now, what champion does have as part of their ability tree in teamwork, or their mastery tree in teamwork? Well, there's some stuff here, like with Mr. Fantastic. So I'm going to go down that route and go to evade. Evasion as well within this mode is actually pretty darn good. And it's pretty darn good because you're able to avoid an attack. If you're able to avoid an attack, guess what? You're not going to take much in the way of damage. Now, I've done that. Let's go into a shatter mode, and then we'll end the video and have a look at some other improvements and other things as well, because we do farm mastery points each time we go into this. So I'm currently working on Thing as being another champion that can hold his own, and at least going for at least one wave and sacrificing a few health points, which you can see I'm at 3,000 now, close to going under the 3,000 marker, but I managed to knock out those champions right there, or those Doombots with Thing. I'm now going to check out a increase armor one, but no, I'm going to go with debuffs are 10% more effective and go on to Human Torch, because I'll be burning. Burn, baby, burn, that's Disco Inferno. And then look to smash these on. Join me a little bit later on as we're further down the waves. So I'm halfway through right now, and I could have swapped out for another champion like Thing or, you know, Invisible Woman, like one of each, just to try to see if I can get like an extra objectives done. But when I don't really believe that they're strong as they need to be to not hold their own, but kind of minimize the volume of... That's terrible for me. That's terrible clicking there. When you're kind of talking and chatting about at the same time, it's not great. Yeah, so because Invisible Woman wouldn't be strong enough, swapping her out would not be a wise idea right now. The more that I go further to improve their masteries as part of teamwork and their individual ones, they're probably going to hold their own a bit more. Also, quick tip with the compensation that you have at the moment with the tickets, you can look to use them to buy all the power-ups, therefore meaning that you'll be able to get through a difficult pain point. However, I think that it's not really advisable. Use them for extra runs. Mainly it's like you will get there, by the way. You will get there to get all this done. If you lose some fights, if you're just starting this for the very first time, losing fights, your mastery points, you'll just reinvest them back in. Like, just kind of like save your tickets to do extra runs. Because you might need them towards the end if you don't find yourself getting shatter mode cleared each time. Or you could use them to improve your masteries to therefore get to that stage a lot of other players have got to. And... yeah, I suppose it's kind of like up to you, isn't it? How you deem to be the best way to do it and take this on. But anyway, there we go. Redemption there, 30% damage after what was earlier before. That was not great. Oh, this is new. Certain moves has temporary buffs that will boost fighting ability. That's the first time that's kind of like popped up, but that's because I chose a certain boost. Got it. Otherwise, I'd look to things like this where it's gone like, providing you're buffed, you get X, Y, or Z. I don't need to go over anymore because it's the final room. And my next stop, yeah, is to get to this one right here to improve armor and also consider some of the others. Things, problem with attack delay not being as low as it needs to be. I could look to put that on. There's other ones, you know, attack damage, just all this kind of like normal ones, decrease effect on enemy, burn on team. Because you do get burn, like it's not a big issue, but it's just, you know, it's there if you want to like sort it out. But anyway, there you go, a little video on teamwork mastery elements, how they can be beneficial, but also how you can look to build an effective lead champion further as they carry the others through the objectives and more. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye for now.